Hello and welcome back to Aurania Gardens, our realistic planet coaster park. Today I will be building a toll booth, an entrance plaza, and some more parking lot trams, as well as an entire parking lot. Hope you enjoy. Alright guys, so we're just getting straight off here into the time lapse. So you can see we're going ahead and doing some train work, and we're going to go ahead and flatten out the area to build this wonderful asphalt parking lot, getting rid of all the nature just for some concrete and asphalt. Actually, all of it, if I remember correctly, the pieces I used is made out of concrete, just recolored to look like asphalt, because we're not going to be using terrain textures in order to allow for an entrance underground. It'll be interesting. I still haven't set it up yet. I was going to in this video, but I guess I didn't. Yeah, sadly I don't fully finish the parking lot today. That was the plan, but I did run out of time. And I did get a lot done, but at the same time I feel like I did not get that much done. So you guys will see that. So first we're laying down this plate of concrete. We redesigned the tram to actually go all the way down to the end, because we're actually building a proper parking lot now. I don't know if I mentioned that. It took some reworking in the station, which ended up messing up a lot of our path work, which I never fixed properly. I don't know if that would be a 100% fix there that you guys just saw, but we'll come up with something later down the line. I was thinking about doing planters, but I decided I'm going to wait to do that. So we're waiting to do the planters. They aren't done yet. We'll do them eventually. So the way this new format I'm going for the videos is a little intro, overview, time lapse, sorry, my reference pictures, and then overview of everything else. Because the time lapse is only going to be certain things, it's not going to be the entire park. Here you can see I'm using the ticket booths to kind of just get an idea of how big the toll booths are. These will go away and be replaced with proper toll booths later on in the video. I'm actually much happier with how those look than these do. I was actually looking at buses there and trying to figure out those, and buses do get figured out, don't worry. They actually fit in the new toll booths. So we first start off with building this kind of bus parking. Oh, I guess, that was just for reference of size. I don't actually show you guys how I do most of the lines in the video, so I guess I'll point that out in the overview at the end. So I'm just kind of building the area where all the cars will merge down to 2 lanes. Actually, as I'm building this, I was thinking it was going to be 1 lane. Then I realized that's enough space for 2 lanes, so we're doing 2 lanes. Don't know how turning would work when you're there, but well, this also gets changed later down the line, but not by much. It's just a lot of fumbling around the traffic circle, trying to make it look nice. A lot of this area up front will change drastically by the end of the video, just as it needed a new look considering of the new changes. Getting rid of those weird crossing signs. Thank God I don't need those anymore. I think that might have been part of the reason why I did this. I don't know. I don't really what encouraged me to do this originally. So asphalt and the concrete don't line up, so I was going to use box lights as kind of a traffic bump and a white line as where to stop there, but I will change that later, don't worry. Alright, so now we're starting some of the line work, and it's just showing the different merges, and I get really confused by that one, because it's, yeah, so I actually do fix it, because when I was watching the time lapse too earlier, it was the wrong direction, and I got really confused. So it's just showing the merge pattern and what pattern you will take, and I think these actually come out quite nicely. I feel like most of my line work came out kind of nice, and I'm quite happy with it, although the arrows I still haven't completed. The ones I did do are way too big. I need to shrink them down a little. But otherwise, I'm pretty happy with the line work. So here you can see a lot of the lines were done. I did all the lines off camera. All the other ones, all the parking lines. It took me a weekend to do all of that. It was insane. I'm quite happy with how it looks though. So now we're starting on the actual toll booth buildings. And I'm running off of a reference picture from the Disneyland, not Disneyland, Magic Kingdom. I think I took some Disneyland help as well. A lot of this toll booth is inspired by the Magic Kingdom's entrance toll booth, because I really liked how it looked. I thought it would work quite well with our colors and all of that, and it really does in the end. I'm kind of taking some ideas from what I saw from the Busch Gardens toll booths. I don't actually have any pictures of that, but yeah, I'm originally starting off with this wood sort of structure because I want to keep it very similar to the entrance, but I will scrap this in a little bit. I mean, the wooden stucco, it just doesn't work in the end. I just can't find any pieces that work. So it will get scrapped in a moment or two. And we end up going for this much more kind of Art Deco metal look and I think that fits a lot better just because I feel like these would have been added after the park originally opened. They would have been made to look similar, but they're of course going to be different. The company, park, whatever, didn't want to spend too much money on this because it's a parking lot. So they just kind of made it look nice, look similar, and functional, which is the big thing, functional. So it kind of has that Art Deco look and the metal boxes sort of thing. And I'm quite happy with how they look. I do an interior. I don't know if I showed that to you guys on camera, but again, it looks good. I add staff to them. I even close doors on the ones that aren't open, because I feel like these small little touches will help kind of boost that realism of the park. And I'll show that a little bit in the overview. So just adding a small roof and some windows, you know. I guess admiring my work. I decided they needed to be slightly smaller. They were way too wide, which they were a little too wide for what they were. Because these things are very small and compact and cramped. They have one person on each side, depending on what type of toll booth they are. The ones I'm going off of, the Busch Gardens ones, have a person on each end with a door opposite, so they can access the cars. Also, that can be confusing with person parking. It confused me a lot for some reason. I don't know why. I guess that was because I was taking pictures of the signs, which I never actually finished, and that just occurred to me. I never did the Photoshop work there. So I'm doing a small planter in front because that's one thing I saw, is they had kind of a planter. This is for the Disneyland one. So I'm trying to set up this, and I'm going through those new planters, and I really like them, but they're all the wrong size, just in different ways. So I end up kind of just building my own one out of stucco, I believe. It took me a while to get the initial shape down, but once I got it, I got it. Yeah, it's just a lot of fumbling with the different pieces, trying to get the look I want. But I do achieve it in the end. I do. I think I used a window. Or, no, I didn't. I don't remember anymore. Oh, I did use that window. And I am darkening the color later, just to match that other platform as well. There's a little bit of clipping going on, but it's not really that noticeable. I actually completely forgot about it, and I've been working in the area for all day, or all week even. So we have the platform down. We're actually gonna, I think we're gonna use one of the base game planters. I don't remember, but we're gonna actually use a planter there at the front, and we're gonna put down some flowers. And I did check online. The colors of these flowers are realistically possible. The big thing is blues and flowers don't come that often in nature. So it was really, because I wanted a blue flip flower, so we ended up using, I don't remember what flower we used. We used one of them, and it ended up looking quite nice. Yeah, those, and they do come in this kind of dirtyish blue, purpley blue, and I went with it. And I thought about changing those to purple, but I just thought, leave them the natural colors. It works. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing here. I guess I didn't do all the windows. Now I'm doing all the windows. Because I felt like the windows needed that small little trim. And alright, so with those windows, we have a little black trim going around the edge, and I think that looks really nice. I also like the kind of square structure of the toll booths, because you'll see some that are rounded, some are hard around the edges, square, like that, and I kind of like it. Kind of that metal-y look. So now I'm trying to start looking at making the door frame slightly smaller, more realistic, make a place where the door can actually slide into. So that means getting rid of some of those windows that I just spoke about, making them smaller, more compartmentalized, and it actually really adds the claustrophobic feel of these little kiosks, and I kind of like it. These are very small, little tight spaces. So I think I ended up saving. So I start working on a small interior, because these do have an interior as they are very open and easy to see into. So this is my attempt at a stool. It's pretty bad, let's be honest. It's pretty bad. It's not the worst, but it's pretty bad. Definitely, I don't want to be sitting in that all day. I try adding some cushioning and I can't get it. So now I can go ahead and build a counter where I put these little time things to look like a little console where you type in the ticket stuff and do all those little things. And I put an upside down one of these as a sort of printer. So you can print out the parking pass or the receipt or something, and I try to put something to put a little stick on the end. I think I end up using the snowman pipe. Hashtag snowman pipe. I do like the snowman pipe. It's a very big thing. It's very big as in very small and very useful. So, and I just go ahead and copy around the interior and put it on the other side, because It's going to be the exact same on the other side, and it's connected in the middle, so they can wander between the two. Although, I also had a little air conditioning unit. I feel like that would be something that they would have. And you add these little lights and turn them off as kind of, it looks like ventilation coming out, and I kind of like it. It kind of works. So I also figured these needed lighting on the inside, so I add arm light on each side. And it's time to copy it through all the little sections. They actually look quite nice in their little homes. I'm pretty proud of them. So now we're going to start working on the structure. A little bit of notice up ahead, I lost a lot of the footage for this due to I just ran out of storage on the hard drive. So, yeah. I did lose a lot of it, but I think I built the base structure and then I lost it, so you just won't see the copying, pasting, and a little cleaning up work that I did. So, feel lucky. Because there was quite a bit of that. So, this really does take influence from the Magic Kingdom's entrance, this section here, and you'll see that in a minute. Because I have set up a little inspiration thing, where my inspiration came from. And it comes in a bit. Yeah, this is a little fumbly trying to get it to kind of line up in the center, and it really never does, and I just kind of, it's fine. I just shrugged my way through that one. So I end up giving this kind of trim along that arch sort of thing, and I'll copy it up in a minute. And it really does complete that look. It adds that little, just slight amount of depth that does so much. And I'm really happy with it. And just making it the colors. It's odd because the colors are really blue and green, but I ended up using a ton of purple so far in the park because just it looks so good together. I also start playing with the little lights that are going to go in there later. And these don't stay as they are, although I do keep them that little ugly traffic green sort of thing. And they do stay as that look, but they don't stay there. Or do they? That might, I don't know. So yeah, I lost all that footage. So now we're working on, we're going to be building a fountain. So I laid, just to give you guys a little bit of background, I laid down a massive concrete pad to the right near that parking toll, and I'm like, this needs something. So I went to the Bro Nation community, awesome community. I'm like, what do you guys think? And they're like, add a fountain. So I'm adding a fountain. It's really my first fountain, and it could be better, but it doesn't look all too bad, and I'm kind of happy with it. Same time, kind of not happy with it, but it is what it is. So a lot of piece searching because I'm just trying to make this look nice, and I love that cannon. It's so useless, but I love it. I mean, I don't have any uses for it. Someone, I'm sure, has found some nice uses for it, but I don't have any. So I wanted this to be very similar to that of the walls we already made, but be slightly different. Slightly different importance, a little bit less of a don't run out into traffic sort of fence, and more of don't fall over into a fountain sort of fence. I tried playing with the mesh, and I just don't know how I made it look good the first time. I really don't. I spent a while working with the mesh, and I could not make it look as good. And I went back and looked, and like, how did I do this? So I ended up scrapping it, adding a lot of trim, and I kind of like how the trim looks in the end. It kind of keeps it slightly different, and keeps it interesting. And I really do play a lot with this white trim, and there's a lot of it. There is a lot of it. Also, I'd like to share just a little plug for a series I've been watching. That's, if you guys want to get better at building in Planet Coaster, I've been watching a series. It's called The Joy of Building by Griff. It's awesome. It's Bob Ross inspired, and it's exactly kind of the same format, same feel, very relaxed, and it's all about building in Planet Coaster, and I think you guys should definitely check it out. I'll link it down below. It's relaxing, and I love it. Yeah, besides that aside, it really did help me a little bit. Just kind of, it's right now very modern sort of stuff he's working on, but it's still concepts can be pulled even into non-modern builds, and I love it. And it, even though it seems like it's for new people to the game, it really can help anyone. I love it. So this took me a while trying to get the rotation down, just playing with the columns and the lights, and I really never got it perfect. I'm sure someone will catch that. But I'm actually kind of happy with how it looks in the end, because it looks perfect, which is kind of the goal. Not perfect, but it looks good enough, kind of. This does take me a few tries, and I think I got it perfect here. That's perfect as I wanted it, and I ended up extending down the wall because it's going to need to fill in a fountain base. So we're going to need to be able to have this wall, and I ended up actually just copying the entire structure down later because I was too lazy to properly extend it. In hindsight, that would have been very easy to do. So here's me just deleting all that concrete pad, doing the train work. The train was it was a pain. Working with trains and paths, they just don't work. Because I want people to be able to move around this area, and they do move around the area in the end, which is very nice, and was the goal, as I just stated. And of course, it's not a fountain if it doesn't have water, so we add the water, and it was really hard to get all the dirt out of the fountain. I thought about leaving some of it just for jankiness, but I realized it really is a closed structure. There would not be any dirt hanging onto the wall like that. The walls might be a little dirty, but that's different. So I go in and throw back in the concrete, and then I'm like, oh, I have to clear the fountain. I don't know what rotating it did, but yeah, I have to go through, delete all the concretes, and start lining the fountain with them. And that was a pain. But it ends up coming out okay, and I end up trying really hard. Also, I keep hitting escape, and you'll see the pause menu keep popping up because I just wasn't thinking properly. I'm like, oh, in order to stop doing the advanced move and to confirm your placement, you need to press escape. I don't know what I was thinking because I've never had that thought process before in the game. But I just sat there and I kept doing it, and you'll keep seeing it for a little bit here. That was just a little off of me. But I ended up just kind of stagnating them very by pixel so they don't Z-fight. So that was important. And then it comes out looking okay. I end up adding, I don't know if I do it yet, but I'll end up adding kind of a grate on the bottom, which I really do think finishes the look there of this kind of man-made fountain. Oh, so now I'm putting up a sign. The sign is just going to be AG. This was what originally the logo was going to be. AG with the Planet Coaster symbol in the back. I'm not doing Aurania Gardens with the Planet Coaster in the back. That would be pain. Because I'm not really that good with custom lettering, so I just kind of use the ones I had before. And I make it work. I think it looks okay. Originally I was going to make it two-sided, and I'm like, oh, this just won't work. So I scrapped the idea. And we stick that in the fountain, and this was the end of my footage. So on to today's inspirations. This is the Magic Kingdom's toll booth. We clearly use that as an inspiration for the roofs, as well as some of just the base structure. Here is Busch Gardens toll booths. We kind of use that for the structure of the actual tolls themselves, and we'll be using them for the pricing as well as the displays that you'll see in the front. Next is the Tram Stops for Busch Gardens. Mainly included this to show my tram stops are actually possible in real gravity. Just structurally sound. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed the video so far, the time lapses, and my little inspiration section. I thought it would be important to show you guys where I've been working from. So now we're in a little overview real-time portion to show you guys what I've done that I didn't quite cover in the time lapse. You can see there's quite a bit. We have an entrance plaza right here. These have Vista Point set up, so they take pictures of the Aurania Gardens sign as well as the fountain. So peeps will come down here and kind of make use of the space. Thank God. So over here we have the toll booths. Of course, there is actually a few cars in the parking lot, but that's nowhere near done. The parking lot isn't done. I've been messing with the signage and arrows and stuff. But you can see I've closed some of the toll booths. They have little red lights. The ones that are closed, we have an empty lane here just to kind of show it empty. Although, chances are these will be very backed up, so we're going to probably fill that out. You can see we have the screens here, which will be the prices. We have doors closed on the lanes that are closed, and they actually have a little this thing, handle. I thought that was a nice touch. These have peeps in them. Peeps are a little broken. You'll see here they're quit, but I can't. Oh, I can rehire them. Look at that. And oh, I didn't know I could do that. There we go. That fixes those because that saves me a lot of effort and time. That I wasn't gonna do. I was just gonna leave them dead like that. But that's nice. I'll remember to do that in a bit. So, see, we have those air conditioning units I was talking about. And little piles of cones behind them on the ones that are closed. 3 cones stacked up because these have 3 cones each to block off their entrances. I thought it was a nice little touch. Again, adds a sense of functionality and realism into the park. I have these little triangles here. You can see them. You saw in the Magic Kingdom photo they had the upside down triangles. I'm like, I'll do upside right triangles, and they kind of look like A's. I'll go with it. You can also see here I have the bus lane. I was going to toy with the idea of having this as a second option, and I guess that's why I did the dotted line. I forgot I did that. but it's closed off only to have buses come through this right lane here, because buses do fit in this structure, unlike the original one that you guys saw earlier. I also started placing signs. I'm not entirely 100% on this one, although it is kind of nice. All traffic telling you to merge left. We have a few of those signs placed around the place. So we have ones telling buses and RVs to keep right. We also have ones that, it's the same one, but we have ones pointing into the parking lot. General parking, turn right. And these do light up at night. This does not yet, because I forgot to do that. Also, besides, massive parking lot, it's something like 748 spaces, if I remember correctly, and this is about 20 bus parking. Took me a while. And you see, there's a lot of lines. Let's look at the piece count on this. 8,000, and that's just for the parking lot. Each one of these structures is 400, and then this wall of trees and stuff is 1,000. So, and actually, this itself is a different structure, and that's 3,000. So, we're getting up there in terms of piece count. So, but the plan will be, I don't know if I covered this earlier. My mouse has stopped working. Okay, there we go. I covered this earlier. We're going to have these entrance points hidden underground, and people are going to peer through the cars. I tested this out earlier with a bus, and it looks okay. It doesn't look amazing, but it's better than just appearing randomly in a parking lot like so. Like I have it currently. These benches will also be going. I was just trying to get people to walk up and down, and I realized the path wasn't connected here. So these are the little tram buildings I was talking about earlier. In the inspiration photos, they do work in real life. They're kind of odd, and I assume, from what I know, these are very light metals and simple materials that are very lightweight, and these are driven down to the ground like traffic poles are. So that will create the structure that is able to be held up, and there is clearance here, just enough, and just like the real life one, it only covers slightly a bit of the tram, mainly the area where people get on. So if it is raining, they can get on that way, and it mostly covers the queue. It just barely doesn't cover the person working in the queue, which is a little sad. Poor little persons. You'll also see we have this massive wall of trees, and that's because back here is going to be some backstage stuff, some rides, some warehouses that we don't want people necessarily seeing from the parking lot. We might want to see a coaster going up, so it does exist. And there is a wall in the back. It's that same go away green wall that we used earlier, but it is up on a berm, just to kind of give us more height there and stuff to work with. I did do some terrain painting just to kind of make it look a little more like it's actually there, not just plopped into place. One look I was going for with these trees is that they were planted there. They were not natural. They were kind of designed, but they've kind of been left to grow. They've been trimmed a little bit. They've been weeded, all that. But they were generally just kind of left to grow. So you see there's ones from different heights. There's some that are never really grew in because the sunlight was just, they couldn't really get to them. They were kind of crowded in. So you see that one there is pretty low because of that. And there are also some that are kind of newer. There's one or two dead bushes. Yeah, here's one. Just some small little details to kind of just add to that functionality. I also started work on another Main Street building. I didn't finish it. It's going to be the confectionery, if I remember correctly, building that I'm basing it off of. I've been working at Street View there. And I guess a little bit more about this entrance area. So this is a big plaza of concrete with little fountain effects. They're set off to go in kind of a 360. So they go in a circle like so. Also, I have piping, because I felt piping would be somewhat realistic, although it is a big octopus mess. It looks okay though. No one's really looking at the piping. I just wanted to be piping because that's kind of realistic and how it will be working. I'm trying to keep this as realistic and kind of functional as possible. Again, playing with those same blue flowers I mentioned earlier. I'm just trying to tie things together. It's playing with the same colors, although the entire parking lot area is kind of newer is the thing we're going for. Maybe 80s. So they're these newer materials, more functional, not necessarily there to fit the theme, but they tried to match them to the best they could. They were just kind of these cheap structures that they put up for necessity. So that's why they are the way they are. Also, this roller rig is not staying. That was just so I can test peeps moving in and out. Parking Tram does mostly work. It does back up randomly. I haven't quite figured out the logistics. As people get on here to get back off here, or get on there to get off at the next station, because it's how transport rides work. So it's a little wonky unit with thousands of peeps just walking around this area right here, because I made it so they can walk through or ride the tram. Because that's kind of how it is in real life too. You can walk or ride the tram, although most people will end up riding the tram. But that just is about it for this video. There's still plenty of work to be done in the future. Join us next Wednesday for more. Be sure to like the video if you liked it. Let me know what you guys thought in the comment section, what I should do with the park more for the future, as well as subscribe to see more of this. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you later.